I got a long-standing PR that I've always wanted, and it's a very rare PR. Not something I see a lot of people go for, which is total reps in a workout for pull-ups. I've always wanted to get over 100. My best was 92 in the past, in 2017, and I finally got it. I did 17 sets of 6. That was my strategy. As many sets of 6 as it takes to get to that number. Turned out to be 17 sets. I didn't know that until I was in the session. I was like, as many sets as it takes. So this was like the first PR. At this set, it was already better than my best. I set 92 reps back when I was 180. And that was in 2017 is when I used to go for these. So revisiting this for the first time, and I got over 100. And it was pretty easy too. So I'm really proud of that. And I got a lot of lat soreness, lots of upper back soreness entirely from this. So really happy about that. Rest of this is the heavy bench. Bench is pretty normal. Not at peak strength. Not terribly weak either. I am 3 weeks into a cut. So that hasn't really fallen off drastically yet. Recovery hasn't been the best. Top end pull-up strength is also kind of mid. Not terrible either. Lower body was interesting. I lowered the weights even more this week, and I still had high reps, like sets of 6 or 8 on squats and deadlifts, depending on the day. And like I did 205 on this. I also did 205 on sumo deadlift. And then disaster struck on day 3, but we'll get to that. But these first 2 days, the squats and deadlifts with 205, felt great. I felt really comfortable. I test my back after these sets every time, and it always feels normal. Like I didn't aggravate anything, and in fact, the movement is good for me. But anyway, more high rep bench. This was surprisingly good. I had like 5 reps in the tank. So look at this sumo. It's like all slack pull. Like that first inch is just me getting into position. It leaves the floor before I even start pulling. It feels like a toy. Whereas squats don't feel as good. Even like empty bar squat is like uncomfortable. Not like it's not pain. It doesn't have to do with the lower back. It's always been like that for me. Squats suck. And here's the most boring part of the week is the tempo bench, but I have to include it for consistency. I can't wait until I get rid of this and replace it with push-ups. I'm going to do that in like a month or so. What else was on that day 3? Oh yeah, arms. But look at this squat. I think it's after this bench video. But I went to a commercial gym at like 6 a.m. And I'm very not used to morning squats. I used to do this a long time ago, but it was like 6 a.m. I went with no warm-up. Everything was tight. Not even well hydrated and stuff like that because it's early in the day. I think this was the culprit because I felt fine during this session, during the squats. It's never like immediate. The next day is when I felt bad after this one. So after this, I had a day 4 deadlift. I had a rest day and then day 4 deadlift. And I had to skip those deadlifts because it got so bad. So I'm thinking of doing just 1 plate on everything next week. So what you just saw there was last 2 reps of my hammer curls. It looks a lot easier than what I claim, RP7. And then I settled on this. That was like last 2 reps of the right hand and left hand full 12. So these are pretty far from failure, but it's a lengthened bias movement. And if I go to failure on these, I know that it hurts. It was already starting to hurt, like the inside of the elbow. But it's such a good pump and a really good training stimulus. I actually get like fatigued biceps the next day, which is what I want. That I've been like trying so hard to actually get good stimulus to my bicep. But anyway, 1 plate on everything next week on squats and deadlifts. We'll see how that works. I want to really be aggressive about being gentle, which is kind of oxymoronic, but very gentle.